Guilty. That's it. I'm growing a beard this week.
Thank you. Time back on. That's Ruffcraft, big boy.
Gus and Gawny, we're back.
Again.
Earlier day today, on a Monday. Normally we do it on a Tuesday.
Such is the demand for the podcast right now. We've got into the lab early and we're putting one together for you. So,
8-0.
Yeah, pretty
In
obvious.
fact,
Start with the obvious.
10 in a row.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we won
Going
our
back.
last two of last year.
I don't think they count for this year, though.
I think, but it counts for a
streak?
A streak. So we're 10 in a row.
Fair enough.
I'd love to know. Maybe we get Gibbo on later and ask him if we've ever been 10 wins on the trot.
Yeah, that'd
Everyone's talking about 8-0.
Yeah, but
have we ever been 10 on the trot?
Wow.
He's miming over there saying yes, but he's not on yet. So
let's not tempt him.
We had Sydney on the weekend.
Yeah, we did.
Saturday night footy.
I thought I feel like we're on repeat every time we come in here and talk about the game. I'm always saying how proud I am of how we were challenged and responded.
Yep.
And I thought that was as tightly contested game as we've had.
I can't concentrate.
Why's that?
Why do you have a golf club on?
Well, I had this a little bit further down the run sheet, but I'm happy to get it out of the way early.
Well, you're wearing a golf club. We have to address the elephant in the room.
Also, for those who it's a visual medium,
they're golf shoes, yes.
they're my golf shoes. So get them in camera.
Yep.
There they
Yep.
are.
And what's in your hand?
I've got my golf hat.
So why are you wearing golf gear on a training day?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Max. Because not in the not too distant future, I'm probably going to have to become a professional golfer. I became a single figure handicapper as of yesterday.
And that's big.
That's huge.
Have you ever
You're a
been
golfer,
there before?
mate, so you know.
Yeah, but I'm sure all of our listeners don't know.
It's like
handicap.
what's it like? It's like it's the threshold after which you've crossed that threshold. Anything's possible.
Third in the Brownlow or a single level handicapper?
So third in the Brownlow was, it was nice. This is biblical.
Yep.
And I melted on the 18th green of Royal Melbourne yesterday when I realised the implications of what I had 78 strokes. It was a good day. And I got to the 18th and I sort of looked around and thought, geez, the rest of my life is potentially starting right now.
Who'd you play with?
Mate was down from Sydney, who I don't think you know.
With COVID.
No, he was down.
They're free now, though.
He was in a COVID-free zone.
Okay.
I don't know why you bring COVID up in the happiest moment of my life. And, I put on a show for him and the weather was great and everything was great. So I'm sitting here now in golf gear, Max, and I've got the rest of my golf kit in my locker ready to change into.
Make some sort of joke to the rest of the boys this afternoon.
Let all the boys know, just in case they missed the text messages, that I'm a golfer. I'm a serious golfer.
Does that put you second?
Well, it puts me ahead of probably Stephen May.
So Hunty's first.
What's
he off? Two
at the National. That's a tough.
And then May and Hibbard.
I'm ahead of Hibbard.
What's Hibbard? 10?
9.8.
And you're what?
9.6. And May's he's no good. So I've probably got him covered, and mentally as well.
I've come in.
What are you?
20.6.
Well, see, when you'll know. You'll know.
I never want to play golf where I don't have a shot on every hole. If I get under 18, I'll quit. Okay. Well, back to where we were. It was the Benny Matthews Cup.
Those who don't know, Ben Matthews was our old midfield coach.
Now he's the forward coach at Sydney.
Forward coach at Sydney.
And we got
it, didn't we?
Yeah.
As I said,
the Ben Matthews Cup's ours.
Challenged throughout the game. And
when Papley was the end of the third quarter, snap. I'm like, Papley always scores goals to win these guys' games, and I just thought, geez, they're on here. In the last quarter, we held on. There was about 10 back stoppages in the last 3 minutes. I don't think we've ever had as many back stoppages of what we had that whole game.
That's potentially another stat that our news guy can get.
Hopefully he's done some homework.
It was like they had the stats. The stats are crazy from this game. Our defenders were unreal. Our midfielders got back well to help out as well. I think it was a good team effort, but as I said, super proud of how we responded to a huge challenge. 8-0 is pretty good. Unfortunately,
COVID hit the VFL.
Yes, it did in a big way.
They weren't able to play their game against Sydney.
So the Sydney boys didn't come down.
I saw 6 of them doing some running on the ground after the game. Okay. 6. So they brought a big squad.
Yep.
We just had Chandler and Fridge.
Big Fridge.
Friend
of ours.
It wasn't Fridge and Freezer. It was
the Freezer.
It was Fridge and
Freezer was out there.
It was Fridge and Newshound.
The news.
They were able to do some fartlek post the game. Chandler's done that 3 times now. Hasn't been subbed 3 times, and all times he hasn't played.
Yeah, that would be I can imagine pretty frustrating.
He needs to be subbed for our opponent this week, Silvani. he's 4 times been subbed out of the game.
Well, then he would have played 4 times,
Yeah,
wouldn't
he
he?
would have played 4 times. 3, sorry, I went early.
That's all right. Mother's Day, what'd you do?
Mother's Day, I went down and saw Mum. Funny fact is most people cook lunch for their mums, or
Is that so? That's a fact, is it?
or take them out for lunch.
Okay.
My mum actually makes me lunch because I
There you
go
go.
to her cafe.
Olive on lock.
Yeah, I go down to her cafe.
Friends of ours.
Jess and I both went. Took Charlie as well.
Yep.
Had a great day down in Lock.
Yep.
And then
What'd you get her?
I got her some non-sponsored apparel wear.
Just random articles of clothing.
Random articles of clothing that we definitely can't mention on this podcast.
Yeah, we hate all other non-New Balance branded apparel.
And Jess got it was her birthday last week as well. Jess got her $100 cash.
A Bradman.
Jess got her 100 cash.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, no, on you, Jess.
Well, is that an inside joke, or Jess just like really, he's $100 and
100
takes
cash
offense?
in an envelope.
Brilliant.
What did you do?
I got my mother the pride of having a single figure handicapper son, which is, she loved. And
She's out of
appreciated.
town, isn't she?
She's out of town.
Yes.
So the boys, my brothers and I put together she got one of those massage balls that it's like a vibrating one that runs up and down your spine and vibrates, which she's been eyes on. She's got a little yoga station now, Deb. She's right into that stuff. So
I did see she was in and around the news this week. Did she do an article?
yeah, she fired up.
Yeah, did she do an
Fired
article about being mum of 4 brave young boys?
I don't know about the brave bit, but there was certainly some article about how she's raised 4 sons,
She's a
and then she's
power
also
mum.
a mother to Trent and Luke now, and
Yeah, which is probably the hardest part because she's gone back to basically all you 4 being 10.
yeah. Well, she says there's some funny quotes, and
Is Luke Jackson similar to you as a 10-year-old?
so I don't want to say that. What I will say is in the article, and it's like Deborah's very innocent in all this, but it's just that she's like I've had to go back a little bit almost in time, and now I'm sort of saying things like this is how to hang up washing, and this is how to stack your dishes away, and it's not a straight up jab, but it may as well be.
I lived with Jack Watts for a year in Bridal, which we talked about, being the best year
friend
of my
of
life.
ours.
He didn't do a load of washing for a good month and a half.
Yep.
And
That's
I'm
too
like,
long.
So his mum was picking it up still a little bit, which is a bit weird at 21. But anyway, the first day he did a load of washing. What a day it was!
Wow.
He brought this massive pile of clothes
Yep.
out into and our laundry was behind the living room, so you could the TV, then the laundry was behind, so I could see what he was doing. 6 hours later, the washing machine's still going.
Wow.
I'm like, what's going on? What's you doing? How many loads are you doing? He goes, you got to do your socks and then your jocks and then your shirts. And
Jackson.
so he's put them all in separate loads. And bless his cotton socks because he hasn't done a load of washing ever in his life.
Look, I bet he's better at it now.
I'm sure he puts them all in at once now.
Yep.
Hope he keeps his whites separate still, but that's
Good on
about
him.
it.
Yeah, so there was an article, and we got mum a bottle of champagne as well.
Oh, that's beautiful. Did you send it up there? Where is she?
She's in Port Fairy, just outside of Warrnambool.
Probably not up. Would you say west? Send it
West.
Yeah.
I'm
Is it
not
up?
sure of the latitude exactly.
Yeah, I thought she might have gone and chased some sun, but no.
No, not quite. She's
Speaking of chasing sun,
yeah. Thanks for the segue.
yeah,
What's
your girlfriend's back.
that? Yeah.
she-
Sun chased.
She went up to Cairns? No.
North of Cairns.
North of
just
Cairns.
a 45-minute drive, a little place
Port
called
Douglas.
Palm Cove.
Palm
Just short
Cove.
of Port Douglas, north of Cairns, in between
Okay,
there.
sorry, I'll get it third time. Has she, so flying back.
Got the sun.
Has she got the sun and got all her bags and moved straight in, or it's official?
Not all the bags.
Yeah, but it's official.
No. Well, I mean, yes, yeah, sort of.
She's got a key, she's in.
She's always had a key.
Okay, but she's not sleeping anywhere else.
She slept at her joint the night before the game. I had to send her back.
Oh, wow, you bit like that.
Well, yeah, I am. Exactly like that.
There's not a spare room.
Well, mine is, my bed is so comfortable. It's nuts, but like it's like a double, it's a queen, not a king.
yeah.
So like, I just can't have that on the night before a game. If
Okay.
it was a king, it'd be a different story. I wouldn't have a problem.
Yep.
But
Well, maybe the upgrade is necessary.
But that's the thing, to upgrade, like my bed would be like to, be the best ruckman in the AFL, then go play like archery or like the most random, because it just makes no sense. My bed is so good, and it would break my heart to part with it. But no, it's so far so good.
I've never sent Jess out. Just
You got a
if
king
you're
bed?
wondering. I do have a king bed. Didn't
And a
always have a king bed.
few spare rooms with other beds in them.
Yeah, but I'd never sent her to.
Oh,
another
that's what
room.
you're saying.
No, that's good. So she's in. That's exciting.
Yeah. It sounds like you're pretty excited.
She spoke at the coterie as well.
She did.
Yeah, she
and
got asked
I
the
reckon
question.
she did pretty well.
Yeah.
I've heard some good feedback.
That's great. That means
Made a few jokes.
It made a few jokes. She's a public speaker.
I can't remember what the jokes were, but I heard from multiple sources
We've
that they were
launched
funny.
her.
Yeah.
We put her on here
Friend of
round
ours.
2.
Yeah.
And now she's launched into speaking at coteries.
It's funny how we're a springboard for many people.
Maybe we should get Jess on here. Get her better at public speaking. She's a great public speaker. Get her even better at public speaking.
Upon an already strong public speaking base.
Yes. I just wanted to give you a Duro d'Italia update, like I said I would.
Yeah, sure. How's my boy Lance Armstrong going?
So he's going really bad in life, actually. Although he does have a podcast.
Does he really?
Yeah. Stage 2. Stage 1 was the night of the game, and stage 2 was obviously last night.
Mm-hmm.
Not much to report, I just wanted to say, but...
So, sorry, the update you're giving me on the cycling race is there's not a lot to report.
Australian cyclist Caleb Ewan was a favourite to win last night and didn't. Come 10th.
Where'd he come?
Just timed his run too late. His sprint chain was a bit
timing
back.
thing.
And the one who is favourite to win overall and from an Australian sense, Jai Hindley, time trialled quite well in stage 1. I actually got a mention on the SBS coverage.
You're joking?
Yeah, on Saturday night, which went hand in hand with the win.
What'd they say?
They said, cycling fan, there was a big time trialist specialist called Max Washerman or whatever his name is, some German who's 200 centimetres. They go, Big Max. And Matthew Keenan, who's a friend of mine who also commentates on SBS, goes...
Friend of yours?
Friend of the podcast, if we want to get him on at some point. He said, I also know a Big Max who's a cycling fan and whatnot. So I got to mention, which is great.
Okay.
So that's the Duro update.
Good on ya.
Big stage tonight, Peter Sagan's favourite.
Yep.
Which you would have known.
He's a climber, isn't he?
Yes. No. I just wanted to bring something up that's a bit of an AFL topic.
Sure.
Which sometimes we dabble in.
Yeah, I mean, we're a lifestyle podcast probably first, but if you want to talk footy, I'm happy to.
Are you a big teams person? You like to check the teams?
Not particularly. Are you about to talk about the controversy about when they're announced?
I always love to know if they're playing 1 ruck, 2 rucks, if the ruck's playing.
Sure.
I also check if there's a ruck in the emergency, just to make sure.
Yeah, okay.
If we play Sunday, you're not checking that till Saturday at 6 p.m. Surely teams have got to be announced a bit earlier. So Goody tells us we know the team 4 days before everyone knows the team.
That's the thing, that the controversy in the public forum at the moment is they all used to be released on Thursday. The footy show it used to be. They all used to go through all the teams.
Greg Stafford, who's a great friend of ours, forward coach, he said that he used to find out if he was playing or not through the footy show.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Well, let's bring that back. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Let's just give everything. What's the footy show now? The front bar?
I think the footy show.
There's no footy show.
It's done.
Your uncle's no longer.
No, he got off that sinking ship well before it finally hit the bottom.
Well, when I was still on.
Were you on it?
I was a panelist. Yeah, a couple of times. You were a panelist.
Oh yeah, I was. Yes, a couple of times.
Yeah. I never hosted it.
No, sorry. I thought you had like a permanent fixture.
No.
Like your
I went
RSN,
on a couple of times.
Every fortnight, RSN.
No, RSN and Nova. Yep, they're the two.
Okay. Well,
our guests has come in.
This has come in. Who we don't have to be secretive about.
We'd all know because it will say on the Spotify that we have Adam Tomlinson, who's wobbled his way in. Sit down. We're doing Gibbo first. You can cut that, Stefan.
No, you can't.
No, we can't cut it.
No.
What are we? No cut.
No cut.
One take.
Any other general?
So you want teams announced Thursday?
Yeah,
I want teams announced Thursday as well.
We obviously have a huge ability to influence.
Maybe we
momentum.
announce them.
We get a hashtag. Yeah, okay.
Do you want to announce a team now?
Any changes for us?
Well, match committee hasn't happened.
Yeah, okay.
So they could be next door doing it now.
Probably can't announce.
Let's run with no change.
No changes yet.
Okay.
That's the Melbourne
and
team.
Carlton one change. Silvani out. DeConning in.
Porterhouse.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that in. Oh, Porterhouse. We'll call him.
Bring
later.
him back.
We're calling him later. Let's go to Gibbo.
Yep.
What's our jingle?
Geez, the table's a bit longer than I remember. It's Benny Gibson.
He's got the news.
He's got the news.
Thank you. Off the top, I just want to address the fact that I didn't wear my Melbourne polo today. Didn't realise.
You look good.
Thank you.
You actually do look sharp.
Didn't realise till this morning that the podcast had been moved to the Monday. Good time slot for it though. I think
supply and demand. Yeah.
I don't mind the Monday mornings. We're in the city. We can get people like Adam in who probably wouldn't have come to Casey's today.
Big guests.
Yeah.
The teams. Your request may be confirmed straight away that this Thursday I think they're going to bring them back.
That's how fast we work, mate.
Yeah, right.
So, which is a great result.
Are we live?
When we play,
we're live.
When we play Sunday games, I think people don't realise like Saturday night I actually have to put them out.
Yeah, right.
So
Which isn't a
not
great time
Not
for
a great time.
Melbourne Instagram.
6:20 p.m.
Yeah, not many people are following that.
And I don't really want to be working at 6:20 on a Saturday night. But
What, you call that?
hard work.
Is that working?
I have to write an article and put out a
sorry.
story.
Surely you've pre-written the article because you know the team.
Well, they don't often tell us.
Oh,
until-
okay. You're last to know.
Yeah, last to know usually.
Yeah, right.
So, but if you want to break the teams on the podcast next week,
Well,
we did. We're no change and Silvani out for the conning. That's
it's a big chance.
Oscar McDonald injury sub.
A few things you wanted me to sort of look up.
Yep.
So, most games won consecutively is 19 for the club. So we started.
In what year? Wasn't that great year of 65,
65.
was it?
So
It could have been 64 into 65.
Yeah, maybe.
65 was the last time we were 8 and zip, which
Yeah.
we are currently.
When
Nine
did
and
that
zip.
streak end in 65?
Then it was the next
9
week.
and 0, and then Norm.
No, so we're 8 and zip.
Great year.
We weren't 9 and zip. 9 and zip, 1956.
Yep.
Went on to win the flag.
Okay.
But at the end of 1955, we won the last 6 games.
Yep.
So that's how it got to 19
Okay.
consecutively.
So we're 10 now.
What,
10 in a row.
this year? Oh,
2 last year.
with 2 last year, yeah. So if we can, win another 17? Win verse
We win
17.
another
Where's your
17.
maths? 27 will be a real big win. Yeah, you're right.
Well, we may never lose again. The other thing...
Speculation. That's speculation.
That
that
is
is
speculation,
speculation.
but it's a good topic.
Yep.
The other thing was the defensive 50 stoppages. So there were 13 clearances to 5 for us, plus 378 metres gained. So that was a good stat.
18. 18. Is that 13
stoppages in the
to 5?
defensive 50.
Wow, that's a lot. I felt like that was a lot.
Yeah. Is that a lot in
Yeah,
context?
that's a good
Yeah.
game.
Well,
And then,
I reckon we would have had, what, 3? 4?
well, what?
Forward stoppages?
In our, I dn't check that.
Okay,
you
sorry.
only
Alright.
asked for defensive 50.
We didn't ask.
Sorry.
That's fair.
Centre clearances, though.
Oh, you checked that,
4
did you?
for
Well done.
17. Not ideal. But I found it interesting. They only scored 1 behind from those 17 centre clearances.
So I'm starting to think. So Goody at the start of the year said it's centre bounce is going to be one of the more critical stats in the game, and we've lost it almost all 8 weeks. I'm starting to call his bluff.
Yep. That's a hot take.
Maybe it's not that important.
So what's your take on the importance of the ruckman in the centre bounces?
Minimal.
Yeah.
Minimal. I shouldn't even be there. That's why we get Jacko in there.
Start behind the ball.
That's his job.
Start back into the wing, maybe.
Okay, this is all tongue in cheek though. Centre bounces are very important. Our defense.
Oh, he's backed out now. Oh, coward.
Our defense.
He had a chance
our
to make a
defense has been
statement.
extremely good and has helped us. And our midfielders also get back and help defend really well. Clayton would have had majority of his touches in the back half. Have you got that stat?
I haven't got that stuff.
Understood.
Understood. Like that's a outlier that they only scored 1 behind. They probably should be scoring a couple of goals with that sort of stuff. So that's something we will try and get better at. And Clayton Oliver and Christian Petrarca are going to lead the charge this week, I reckon.
Because you usually...
I usually do a bit of a centre bounce presentation.
Maybe it's your fault.
But I've been doing it for years, and we've had some good results.
That's a good years.
In previous years. So
Okay.
we'll go from there.
We'll come back for this next week. I reckon we'll see how we go.
okay, what else we got?
Another one-
Maybe it's because you're on the wing.
The Wingers Club takes no responsibility for the... I'm just going to speak on behalf of our president, Ed Langdon, that what happens inside at a centre bounce, we just have to stay outside of the square, and that's our official company.
One
line on
from the game. Maisie got a $2,000 fine for striking Buddy.
that.
Did he?
Keeping
Just
Buddy in his pocket.
Yeah,
All game.
6 disposals for Franklin, but he sort of clipped him. I think he went for the shoulder, slipped above. I found it interesting. So it was an early plea, would have been $3,000, but it was a first offence. But I do recall May getting 5 weeks for cleaning up Steph Martin
Yes, I don't think it's his
in
first offence.
2016. That
First finable offence.
that
mate.
video has got
Is that his first fine,
over
maybe?
4 million potentially,
Yeah.
but certainly wouldn't have thought it was his first offence.
Did Rampy get anything for flipping our boy?
No, Ed Langdon obviously
worry.
went down in a WWE style
It was a flip.
move in
Yeah.
the goal square. Didn't get cited.
The Wingers Club will be taking legal action. Don't worry.
Glenn?
And, we've got some high-powered
Glenn?
friends who... Yeah, Glenn. That was a joke.
Yeah.
And he took his headband off.
That's
Dramas.
not on.
Hayden McLean got a fine for striking Petty. So
Did he?
yeah,
There you go.
$100.
Where does the money go, Gibbo?
Not sure, but Jordan Lewis said it is now taxable.
Really?
Yeah. So
It's always
there you
been,
go.
apparently.
right. So maybe did you?
Someone
You
call
got fined a
Steve
couple
May.
of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So.
You would know.
Have you ever been fined?
You're very good with money. When
I
I,
don't know
say
about
very good,
fines.
you haven't spent anything in the last couple weeks.
I
Like you
bought a few
literally,
bottles at your wine bar, I remember.
you did too. But that last, so that's the last time you spent. That was in
Ever.
January.
Yeah, I haven't eaten since.
That's all we've got, but we're hoping, this is pure speculation, but JJ had a very good performance. He's eligible for the Rising
freezer.
Star. We're hoping...
Was he sitting on like a 10 or 11 at quarter time or
Yeah,
something?
11
I saw his name at the
first
top.
quarter. Massive start to the game.
Yeah.
I think he ended up with 23. big performance. We're hoping a nomination that would be two.
Who else is eligible? Is
Trent Rivers played 9
eligible
games last
and
year.
Cozzy's not.
Cozzy's not. He played 11 is the cutoff from the previous year.
And Sparrow's not.
Sparrow. I'll tell you what's going to be interesting. I'm not sure, to be honest.
Okay, you just deflect and go to a different topic.
It's going to be interesting with the sub, how that impacts that. 'Cause you touched on Cade Chandler. He's now played 4 games.
He's had 3 wins.
Yeah, his first 3 wins without playing in any of them, and he's averaging under 2 disposals a game.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's so disappointed because he had 8 tackles in his first game, and now he averages 2 tackles a game.
Yeah, tough.
Brilliant.
All right, is that all?
That's all.
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks for
We'll
the news,
be
mate.
back with our guests after this. We'll do the Eddie Langdon segment, and we'll maybe even call Oscar.
Yeah, we'll see what comes along.
Beautiful.
Thanks to our co-principal partner and podcast sponsor, Zurich Insurance. For over 100 years, they've been insuring the people and things you truly love. And just like you, they truly love footy and they truly love the D's.
Okay, our guest. Do you want to introduce him?
Adam Tomlinson, my blood, my flesh and blood. Adam Tomlinson, my grandmother on my father's side is a Tomlinson, so we're cousins 3 times removed.
Is that right? Because he's also got another
Bill Laurie, who
cousin.
is also, I think we're in the same. I think it's the same family.
I think it's the same family. I mean, apparently he's on the Tomlinson side, but
So are you cousins with Bill Laurie?
We would be
We'd
related
assume so.
in the same way that Tomo and him are.
When does cousins stop? First, second, third? Is there like 8th cousin?
I'm sure.
Well,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Are you in a mood?
No, I'm not in a mood. Firstly, thanks for having me.
No worries. Thank you for coming. I see you're wearing a rival podcast.
No, it's not a rival podcast. It's just a good friend. And so, to be honest, I put the same clothes on this morning, and Cass, my girlfriend, was like, "You can't wear that."
Understood. And you just went straight ahead with it?
I said, "Well, get me a t-shirt."
Well, she made you do the dishes last night. I saw on Twitter.
Yep. Went down very well, and also not so well with some people. I think some people aren't aware that I just had a knee reco.
Yeah.
And they just think I was being a little bit sexist. But no.
You
she
did
said
have
you
a knee
can
reco.
stand, so you can pack the dishwasher.
Jeepers.
Now,
That's
going on your Twitter, are you a follower of Adam Tomlinson 20 on Twitter?
I got hacked by you remember when I became Turkish for a few days and all my social.
And then you wouldn't help me out when I got hacked.
Yeah, well, I told you the truth, and that is you'd never seen any of your stuff again.
I
which
got it
wasn't
back.
the truth.
Yeah, it
so,
wasn't the truth.
but my Twitter
Didn't
died
tweet
at-
your notes about someone who you're playing the next week or anything?
That didn't happen. I just became Turkish, and then my Twitter
Wingers don't
disappeared.
play on any
That is true. That is true.
Adam Tomlinson 20 has been very sentimental since the knee reco, and a lot of you do go through some emotions. And the first 2 or 3 days, you're always very grateful for still being able to live a normal life while having a knee reco. And Adam shared.
Is that what you felt?
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm going to play football again.
Yes.
And there's people who are so far from being able to play football professionally. And my sister is a teacher's aide for a kid, and when we met Lockie, he could run around the playground pretty much, and he's now at a point where he's wheelchair bound. And he finished high school last year, and he sent me a message within an hour of the game. And then when I spoke to Mum and Dad, Jan Danaher had sent me a message on behalf of her and Neil. So it was sort of eye-opening.
Puts things into perspective pretty
exactly,
quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then, so a few of those tweets were coming out very sentimental and very lovey, and almost had me in tears, some of these tweets. Now he's tweeting about, he's starting to get a bit angry.
Okay.
I had to do
Angry? I
the
wouldn't
dishes
say angry.
yesterday, and it's only day 7, so I don't know where it's going to get. But his Twitter, for those that don't follow Tomo, I think it's going to light up over these next 2 or 3 months.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I do have a lot of tweets that come into my head and I think about posting, but
yeah.
Simpsons man, apparently, as well.
just a TV watcher.
Yep.
Yeah.
The golf glove?
I'm glad you asked, Adam. I, as you know, play golf and have been on a bit of a journey, and finally am a single-figure handicapper.
Well
We're
done.
actually
Well
the
done.
same 9.6 now, you and
Yes,
me.
and I saw that. And the thing is, I went out a shot and a half in 3 rounds.
I took
I
them.
can't play for a while, so I hope you go out.
Look, mate, I appreciate the well wishes and the kind words. And
I like to think I had a bit to play in that because I did
You
play a
100%
lot of golf in
Haven't
that
we?
last month. So
Let's go back to the start.
okay.
All things knee.
you don't want to talk about me and golf anymore?
I want to talk about his knee.
Understood.
Went down nice and early. I still haven't seen the play that it went down, and I probably refuse to go back and watch it. Early in the North game, and then surgery on Tuesday.
Yeah, Sunday would say 1:17 p.m. I went down.
Yep.
And then I saw the surgeon Julian Feller on Monday, and he goes, "I will do it tomorrow." I wasn't really prepared, but then, chose to do it on the Tuesday night and was out Wednesday morning.
Do you know who you jumped in front of in the line?
Do you know?
Our producer, Stefan.
Oh,
I'm aware.
bumped him back.
He's been waiting 7 months to get his done. And you've just jumped straight in.
Well, sorry, Steph.
All good. Surgery went well.
Surgery went very well. He was super happy.
That's good.
Gave me a lot of confidence going forward.
Perfect. So Marty Hoare, he did Marty Hoare's ACL, and he was back on the golf course within, I think, 3 weeks. So
Marty Hall ran for the first time the other day as well.
Yes.
forget running. We're talking about
importance.
Yeah, cool. Priorities.
Looking forward to swinging a club. Don't know when it'll be, but
You can actually get some putting reps.
I will putt a lot.
Yep.
As of today, day 8.
Day 6 surgery.
Day 6 surgery.
8.
Are you allowed to do anything today at the club?
Chat.
Are you not? You're not on the upper body weights program
Well,
yet?
I might walk past the gym and
See what's going on.
fall on a bench and
Oh,
wow, what's this barbell doing here? Why has it got this weight on? I can do that.
Your phone lit up post game.
Yeah,
I was
it
with
did.
you at the airport. Would have been upwards of 500 surely text messages.
This morning I replied to the last 81 messages.
wow.
Yeah, right. How many incomplete? You didn't count, but roughly 500, you reckon?
Or we'll say 500.
Did you copy and paste her when you?
No,
send
I
in
try and.
individual.
Yeah.
Each one? Bless you, Adam.
Wow, mate, I got time.
And any notable messages? Anyone reached out that you didn't think would ever
I
reach
just
out?
got a missed call from Mike Sheen.
Mike Sheen,
He had a knee or hip or elbow replacement. And
good
wanted-
Melbourne man, Mike Sheen. We should get
great
him on.
Melbourne.
Isn't he? Did
Yeah.
Ed Langdon reach out to you?
Yeah, came over a few times.
Did he?
Yeah.
You guys friends?
We'll talk about that a bit later on the segment.
Nah, I was overwhelmed with the amount of love I had. And people
it's
that
a
reached
How
out.
many of the people text you would have had a blue tick on Instagram?
Well, I don't know.
You have a lot of.
I think you're going
Famous
somewhere with
friends.
this. Go on, Max.
No, like Max has a go at me that I'm
I don't-
sort
I'm
of
not
friends
having
with
a go at
everyone,
you.
or
You
that
got
I
a lot of
like
famous
to be
friends.
seen to be friends with everyone, or I know everyone.
None
Go
of
on,
those words
say
have
it.
ever come out of my
That
mouth.
is a lie.
None of those words have ever
What
come
do
out
you?
of my
We'll
mouth.
get him out now. What are you
Well,
insinuating?
We sort of dropped last week that maybe he could be a new segment
Yes.
involving Adam because he's got a bit of free time.
I
And he's
guess. Yeah.
doing such a great job early on in this podcast interview that he's got a future maybe with us.
As like a celebrity.
Well, he knows he's celebs, so I'd always be interested to. Is there anything going on out in the world? Because he used to report on The Bachelor. Is that true?
Oh, I used to jump on a podcast and they'd want to talk what happened in the last episode. But no, I read this morning Bert Newton had his leg amputated.
Bert.
Yes.
I'm sorry. You
This
amputated.
That's not funny.
stemmed from a toe infection.
Yeah, right.
Truth.
Hope he's okay. How old's
yeah.
Bert?
Old.
Steph?
He's old. We'll get Benny Gibson.
Steph Claire Smith had her baby.
Yep.
Congrats, Steph.
She got a blue tick. She's famous.
Apart from that,
I'm shook by Bert. He's 82.
Yeah.
82.
yeah.
That's rocked me.
And you also have some news on the curse.
The
you came in-
1965 when Norm Smith was coaching.
You've been doing some light reading.
Yes, it came up in the news, and I was like, "Well, I may as well read this." Went on 8 and zip.
Yep.
Went on 3AW and potted one of the umpires.
Okay, so that's like goody potting. I'm not going to name an umpire.
No, we're not going to name
an
anyone.
umpire.
And then he got sued for defamation.
Yes.
And tried to take it to the board that they should pay, and the board cracked it and inevitably called the players the night before the game and said, "Meet at Coburg Oval, where they were playing North Melbourne the next day." And they
Interesting
said,
oval for that game.
well, yeah, they never normally played. It was the first time North had played there because their ground was getting redone.
Okay.
This is in depth.
And then they said, Norm's been stood down. Checky Hughes, who was 72 at the time and on a walking cane,
Yep.
came in, coached for 8-9 games, and then they brought Norm back in to coach the rest of the season. But then after 67, the golden days were done and he was sacked again.
That is amazing.
In depth.
You can choose if your regular segment is your history enough or celeb or a mixture of both.
I read the article and I can't remember the exact player, but yeah, it just came up this morning. And Ron Barassi had just gone to Carlton and they gave the 31 jumper to another player, and the article was about him, but I'll find the name for you later.
There you go.
Unreal, Adam.
What are you going to do over the next couple of months?
I don't know yet.
A lot of putting.
A lot of putting.
Short game.
We'll try and do a little bit of coaching or just watching you guys.
Yep.
I just can't wait to walk, to be honest.
Yeah, you are an active person. That
Yes.
would be probably the hardest thing.
Yeah.
I found that Obviously, I like to bring anything knee related back to
Max had a
myself.
few knee recos.
I found that the hardest. It takes away your life for 5 months. Once you get that back, like Marty's probably at now, getting your life back, it starts to be a bit more enjoyable.
Gus, I got a question for you.
I'd happily answer it.
Who brings it back to themselves more, Mark Williams or Max Gawn?
Is there a third option?
throw
He's wearing
Russell
his
Ro-
golf glove.
Don't have a go at Gus.
Yeah, don't get defensive, man. Don't yell at me. All right. Obviously, it's Max. I'd throw
You
Russell. I'd throw Russell Robertson in there as well.
Jeez.
You know,
I don't reckon you can
Me
get more
over
than
Mark
Choco.
Williams.
Choco.
Choco. I think Choco summed it up every week that it's about him.
Choco is. We should get him on the podcast.
So Adam's come in with rumours saying that we've potentially got some fractions within our group, and then you've gone and done that.
Did you say fractions, as in like
Like a half,
I
a
said
quarter.
frictions.
I don't know what it could be. It literally could be factions. Would have been okay.
Fractions. Anyway.
No, that's just what I heard on or saw on WhatsApp. You know, things spin around quickly.
It was what was it? We were saying something along the lines of last week. When you get that big, it was copycat. Like you get the copycats, and then always there's rumours. And
How is Old Dog and new Bill Bull going?
I think they're out of business already. No good.
How did you go your first team meeting and game day not playing?
The hardest thing was the last 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be out there. It was I got a little bit emotional, but I mean that was bound to happen. Yeah, it was hard.
Can we bring up what when we were walking down the race?
Why not?
We were walking down the race, and as you turn left into our room, just before we turned left into our room, Tomo went past and his ute tooted.
Well, I wasn't going to go past and not too.
How about the timing to do it when we're walking down the race?
Well,
Perfect.
what other timing would you want?
It shows that you made it to the final siren, which is great.
Well, I had to start walking because once the crowds got up, it was a mess, and I had to sort of walk a fair way to get to the lift and then go down or whatever. But yeah,
Perfect timing.
Why are you wearing Dill and Friends podcast gear?
good long-time friend Dill.
Yep.
And he's a big fan of the podcast.
He is. Huge
Yes,
fan. Will you be
yes.
wearing a Positive Wingers?
I'll wear a
Shirt?
Happy Eddie shirt.
Happy E.
Okay,
Okay, well, we'll work on that.
We're almost ready to go into. Oh, can I just say, do you know Toby Green?
Again, he's having a dig at me.
I'm not. Do you know Toby Green?
I know Toby very well.
He's a gun.
Yes. I'll put it down to me. We lived together in our first year, and then they split us up.
Yeah, right. And one went, and the other one went.
Wow.
Both went.
Sure.
One last thing, actually.
What did he do to you before?
One last thing
before he
on
came
Twitter.
on?
That's the last thing on Twitter. Is your display picture you missing the goal against Geelong? Go to your display picture.
It is. It is.
You put that up because it's a great photo of you.
You want to talk about people who miss critical goals?
Oh,
like, look in the mirror.
Yeah, I know. I've missed more critical goals than anyone put together in this room.
Anyone put together in this room?
But yes, it is that kick.
Constructed?
It is that kick.
Okay, I just
Brilliant.
wanted to ask that question. We're going to go to this segment. You can join in because we might need to
Yeah,
ask
I
you
would like some
questions
insight.
within. Who does the start of the jingle? Me. You.
It's Eddie Langdon's
Yeah. Segment.
Big week for Eddie Langdon
Yep.
on multiple fronts. I just want to get through your relationship with Ed first. Can you talk us through?
I want to give everyone some insight into our relationship.
Please.
Too.
Because it doesn't make sense.
Well, to me it does. Makes perfect sense.
I know. It makes perfect sense to the Ed Langdon we know. But the people out there won't get why Adam Tomlinson and Ed Langdon are
No,
friends.
it's polar opposites.
Yeah. Well,
Take it away.
Are you?
Well, no, we're not. But from the outside, we are.
Take it away, Adzi.
I came to this footy club at the exact same time as Ed.
Yep.
We became close very quickly.
Yep.
And after 2 months, he turned to me and he goes, "You know what, Tomo? I just didn't think we were going to get on at all."
Yep.
And I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, I just didn't like what I saw from the outside." And I was like, "Well, cheers. Thanks."
All those photos at Salt Bar will come back to haunt you with it.
Didn't help me.
So you remember the Wingers Club early days as well.
Yes.
So, I've got to take my hat off there, which I have done because you guys don't want to talk about my golf game anymore. But
Fat side wingers.
that's it. But what I wanted, your insight. So what's the Ed Langdon that you know? Everyone obviously sees the headband and the Fitzroy and the keep cups and that. What drew you to Ed, do you think? Was it the private school stuff or?
What drew me to Ed initially was the fact he had no one else to sit with.
Yeah.
And so it gave us a friend each. And then I got to work at his pretty deep thinker and he's happy to go to a cafe and sit there and say nothing, which worked out well. And it just grew from there. We lived together in Maroochydore when we went on a camp, had a great time. And
Now, you've had some rivals along the way. Our boy Ed likes to have one friend at a time.
Yes.
Doesn't like to branch out. In early days, that was you. Then it went to Aaron Vandenberg.
Yep.
And now it's Jaden Hunt. But now it's almost coming back to you. We're not sure.
Yep.
I don't really have a question for that. I just wanted to sort of.
So my
make a
question
point.
is, what I sort of want to narrow down into is my theory. Yeah, Gawny's, that was complete and utter rubbish. That's correct.
I hadn't spoken for a while, so I thought
That's
I'd put
okay.
it in.
My question is, my theory is that Ed, it's all this is all a front, all a show. His true essence is.
Well, the kid did grow up in St George Road in Toorak, and
exactly
he now lives in a share house in Fitzroy with 6 dogs.
So what I like to consider when I think about Ed is, and this is the question I'll ask you, is he's finally had let's say he's got a kid and it's time to go to school.
Well, I think we've spoken about this before.
Is he going to go to Fitzroy local?
No.
Okay.
He's going to go to Melbourne Grammar,
Yep.
and his kids are going to come home every day with no shoes and backpack because they'll get mugged or rolled or whatever. So Ed inevitably is going to have to move back to South Yarra, and the long hair will go, and it will be short back and sides, and he'll be wearing a suit every day to and from work.
We have some listeners in the northern suburbs.
Love the northern suburbs.
We love the northern suburbs.
Well, this
what we
isn't
love
against the
more
northern
is
suburbs.
honesty from Ed to Ed about Ed.
All right, we need to get
Because
through.
I just want to say Ed is all about authenticity and just
Which is ironic.
yeah, and like as much as he wants his kids to go to Fitzroy High,
Okay.
They're just not going to
I
Fitzroy.
wrote down some logistics for this segment. We need to talk about the Zurich Keep Cups.
Yes.
They are coming.
You're a keep cup.
well, I've almost got that many Cape Cups. It's defeating the purpose of having a Cape Cup. But sure, thanks, Eric.
We got 100 of them, thanks to our friends at Zurich. They'll be numbered 1 to 100. Not sure what number you'll get.
20.
Probably, early before give up.
Friends of the podcast will get one, and then we're not sure how we're going to distribute. Yes, distribute them.
We'll figure that out.
We'll figure that out. Second is the t-shirts. They're coming as well. Not sure the logistics behind how we're going to do that, but all proceeds will be going towards MND.
Yep.
which
Double
is-
XL for you.
Sure.
Yep.
You big boy.
I like the baggy
4 on a
fit.
bench. Yeah, how much do you bench?
A lot.
Yep.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Fraser Rossman beat him in a time trial in the first preseason session.
No, he didn't. We hadn't run yet. We hadn't run.
And Tomo goes up to him and goes, "Well done, mate. How much do you bench?"
Brilliant.
That didn't happen like that. But
So t-shirts are coming. Thanks to everyone who replied to
Yeah.
the Instagram with
And-
sizes. So we got a good range of sizes.
I was up for about it took me an hour and a half to count, and I put it in an Excel spreadsheet, which
Yep.
you've seen.
That's why you get paid the big bucks to be our
That's why
social
I'm so-
media
yeah.
coordinator.
Correct.
Coordinator.
just
Anyway, what's
Coordinator.
next?
man in charge of social media.
Roll over.
Next, I just want to talk quickly about the amount of hashtag positive lingers you are putting up personally.
As in, this is a
I
clip?
think you should hold back a tiny
Okay.
bit.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to say anything
yeah.
because I was in the crowd for a quarter last night, and Ed was doing. I don't know what he was doing, but that many people yell out positive lingers.
Yeah,
And
I
so
think-
many people reply.
I
to
think
my
you've done
Insta
your role.
So I've lit the match
From
now.
Tom.
I put a photo up of Ed and I,
Yeah.
and everyone just commented back hashtag positive lingers.
On
And
our
you know I'm not a big fan of the nickname lingers.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, I actually don't know where it come from. Did you start?
I started it. Again, another one of my IP things. So I wouldn't want anyone to steal that either. So we'll talk about that in another episode.
What was I saying? Oh yeah. So from our friend of the podcast, Tom Bug, he talks about snippets. I just think,
Back off now.
yeah, we've done our snippet.
Yeah.
There's some feedback.
Thank you.
and,
I agree.
Yeah.
I probably agree with that. So I'm happy to back off.
and we got a lot of feedback regarding why didn't we do Ed Langdon beanies, because he wears a lot of beanies.
Headbands?
Well, we didn't do Ed Langdon beanies because we're more interested in trying to sell the beanie I'm wearing today, which is the MND Big Freeze
course.
beanie, number 7. Can't believe there's been
Big Freeze
7.
7.
Did you play in the first? It's your
Geez.
7th year, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I
Yeah.
played in all of them.
Yeah, I missed one with injury, but I played
I
in
probably
most.
have missed one actually.
Um,
I've been there I played the first one definitely.
we'll talk about that more when we get to that week. But ideally with some t-shirt sales and hopefully get a couple of guests
Pointing
in
at me for any reason?
around the MND week. But that's why we didn't go the Ed Langdon beanies.
Yep, and it's a good question. I know everyone sees him wear the daggy beanie, and that's fair enough. So there's the answer.
And for those that want to address the elephant in the room, yes, we have spoken to Ed about the Positive Lingers shirts and the selling of them, and yes, he is unhappy about it.
Extremely. But the brilliant thing, and again, he's done it to himself, and so it's hard to feel too sorry for him, is when you say something like, and I'm sort of paraphrasing, it'd be close to a direct quote, I'll come on your podcast if you buy me a 6-course wine pairing at Attica. If you're that into capitalism, and then you are against people selling shirts with your likeliness on them because you hate the way that people are using your name and likeliness to make money. I don't see how that's a bit of a contradiction.
Have you got anything else for Tomo?
Adam, I'm looking forward to playing golf with you again.
Yeah.
If you ever want to come for a putt and a chip,
I'll come in the cart one day.
Brilliant. Well,
Is the podcast experience what you thought?
I was looking forward to coming on.
We got one more thing
because I had a bit of info for you.
Yeah, you had plenty for us. It was unreal.
We do have one more thing to do. You've got your phone there. Are you able to just quickly call Oscar McDonald for us?
FaceTime or?
No, don't worry about FaceTime. We're going to call Oscar and Melbourne and Carlton this week. Let's see if we
with him lately, but
let's see if we can get a couple of insights into what Carlton are going to try and do.
$10
depending on what he answers with, we might have to.
We're a no cut.
Put it right next to the mic there.
I don't know. He's not going to pick up.
Jeez, that was quick.
Oscar, it's Gus and Gawny here. How you going?
You're on the Gus and Gawny podcast, and they asked me to call you.
What?
You're on the Gus and Gawny podcast, and they asked me to call you.
Mate, I'm studying.
No, you're on currently.
You're on
live.
the podcast right now. Like they're here in the room doing the podcast.
Firstly, Oscar.
He just hung up.
Oh.
He's.
We got him for a good bit then. No, don't call him back. Don't worry about it.
You sure?
Yeah, he'll screen us now.
Mate, you're actually on the podcast.
Yeah, text me.
All right, I'll text you.
That's confirmed my long-held belief that he screens us early in the week because
He's picked up
knows.
Tomo.
That's unbelievable.
That's
He
crazy.
hasn't just picked up. He's picked up straight away.
Yeah, within the first dial.
Can we have to cut some of his language out, but maybe
Just
a beep or
beep it out.
Yeah, I mean, you
Well, it's
can't.
great. We got some good insights into Carlton there.
He's just messaged crook by you.
Thanks, Tomo, for coming on. Thanks to our sponsors at Zurich and everyone else we mentioned. Gibbo, you were super today. And we tried to get Track at some point. We might get him next week. Yeah. Track and Goody, they're both in. We're looking at both of them. Goody's got match committee at the moment, so he's hard to get Goody.
We've also got a long list of people who want to come on, so they might have to come